You just ordered something on Amazon. Maybe yesterday, maybe this morning, probably both. And in a day or two, someone's going to pull up to your house, scan a package, and hand it to you. You'll say thanks. They'll say, have a good one. And they'll drive away. But here's what you probably don't think about in that 30-second interaction. That person who just handed you a $200 item, they can't afford to buy it themselves, not without sacrificing something else. Not without doing math in their head about whether this purchase means they skip a meal or push back a bill payment. And that's not an exaggeration. That's the math of being an Amazon delivery driver in 2025. I want to show you something today that's going to change how you see that blue van pulling up to your house. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with some numbers, real numbers, not abstract billion-dollar figures, but the kind of numbers that determine whether someone eats lunch or saves gas money. Amazon delivery drivers make about $17 an hour on average. Some make a little more, some make less. But 17 is the middle. That sounds okay, right? 17 an hour. Do the math. That's about $35,000 a year before taxes. After taxes, you're looking at maybe $27,000, $28,000 take home. That's $2,300 a month. Now let me show you what that actually means. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in most cities, $1,200 to $1,500 a month. So already you're at half your income just for a roof over your head. Car payment? Because you need a reliable car to deliver packages. That's another $300. Insurance because you're driving all day? $200. Gas? You're driving 100, 150 miles a day. That's another $400 a month easy. Add it up. Rent, car, insurance, gas. You're at $2,400 a month. You've got maybe $200 left for food, for utilities, for your phone bill because you need your phone for the route, for car maintenance because you're putting 60,000 miles a year on your vehicle, $200 for everything else, and you're working 50, 60 hours a week to get that. Now, let's talk about what you're delivering. The average Amazon order is $85. That's the average. Some are $20, some are $500, but $85 is what most packages cost. Think about that for a second. You're delivering packages worth $85 and you make $17 an hour. That means the average package you're handing someone represents 5 hours of your labor. 5 hours. And you deliver how many packages a day? 50 on a light day, 100 on a normal day, up to 300 on peak days during the holidays. So on an average day, you're handling packages worth $8,000, $8,000, and you took home $136 that day before taxes, maybe $100 after. Let me make this even more concrete. Last week, you probably ordered something, I don't know what, could be anything. Let's say it was $100. A small appliance, some clothes, a gift for someone, $100. You thought about it for maybe 30 seconds. You clicked buy now. You moved on with your day. The person who delivered that to you, they thought about that $100 too, but differently. They thought, that's 6 hours of my life. After taxes, that's 7 hours. That's almost a full shift. They scanned your package, they walked to your door, they took a photo proving delivery, they walked back to the van, they drove to the next stop 50 more times that day, and the entire time they're surrounded by things they can't have. You know what breaks my brain about this? They're not delivering to people who are rich. Not usually. They're delivering to regular people, people making 50, 60, 70,000 a year, comfortable but not wealthy. And those people are buying things without thinking twice that the driver has to think about for days before deciding they can't afford it. The driver is delivering to their own economic bracket, just the people who have enough margin to participate, and they don't. Let me walk you through a day, an actual day, because this isn't theoretical. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. You need to be at the warehouse by 6:30 to load your van. You're not paid for the time it takes to get there. Clock starts when you start loading. You spend 45 minutes loading, scanning, organizing, 200 packages. You're paid for this time, $10 after taxes. You leave the warehouse at 7:30. Your route takes you to a suburb 30 minutes away. Nice neighborhood, good schools, houses worth $600,000, $700,000. You're not paid for the drive there. That's travel time. Gas comes out of your pocket if you're a contractor, which a lot of drivers are. You start delivering. First stop, a Ring doorbell camera watches you walk up. You deliver a package. It's a toy for someone's kid. You scan it. You know exactly what it is because you can see through the packaging sometimes, or you've delivered the same thing 50 times this week. Your kid wants the same toy. You check the price once, $40. You can't do $40 right now. You smiled when you thought about it, but it stung a little. Second stop. Another house. This one's bigger. 3-car garage. You deliver a package. It's an espresso machine. You saw the box. $300. You drink instant coffee because it's cheaper. You don't think about this with bitterness, really. It's just you notice. You notice all day. By noon, you've delivered 80 packages. You've been going non-stop. You haven't eaten. You packed a sandwich, but you're saving it for later because if you stop now, you'll lose time, and if you lose time, you'll have to work late, and you can't afford late because you've got to pick up your kid from daycare by 6, or you pay $1 a minute penalty. So you keep going. Hungry, tired. The van doesn't have AC or it's broken. Doesn't matter which. You're sweating through your shirt. 3 p.m. 150 packages delivered. You stop at a house. You hand a package to a guy. He's working from home. Nice guy. He says, "Man, you guys work hard. I don't know how you do it." You say, "Just part of the job," because what else do you say? He goes inside to his air-conditioned house to open a package he bought on a whim. You get back in your hot van, 50 packages to go. You finish at 7 p.m. You drive back to the warehouse, 30 minutes, not paid for that either. You get home at 8, your kid's asleep, you miss dinner, you heat up leftovers, you look at your phone, your bank account shows minus $20 because a subscription you forgot about auto-renewed. Tomorrow you'll do it again. That's the day. That's every day. And the question that sits with you that you don't say out loud because it feels like complaining, but it sits there anyway, is how did we build a system where the person doing the actual work can't afford to participate in what they're working for? Because here's the thing, this isn't just about Amazon drivers. Amazon's just the most visible example because you see that van every day, but this is the structure of the entire modern economy. Let me show you how this works. Jeff Bezos, you know the name. The guy who started Amazon, he's worth about $200 billion. That's not a typo. 200 billion with a B. You know how much he makes per second? And I mean literally per second, not per hour or per day. Per second, about $3,000 every second. An Amazon driver makes $35,000 per year. Bezos makes that in 12 seconds, not 12 hours, 12 seconds. Let me say that again because it's insane. The person delivering packages makes in a year what the owner of the company makes in the time it takes to read this sentence. And we built this. We collectively agreed this makes sense. Now, I'm not saying Bezos should make minimum wage. He built a company, he took risks, I get it. But $3,000 per second while the person doing the actual delivery is deciding between fixing their car and taking their kid to the doctor, that's not a functional economy, that's extraction. And here's where it gets really dark. Amazon could pay their drivers more. They choose not to. Not because they can't afford it, because it would cut into margins. It would affect the stock price. It would mean you pay 60 cents more for Prime or your package takes 3 days instead of 2. And Amazon correctly calculated that you care more about speed and convenience than you care about whether the driver can afford rent. They were right. We kept ordering. They kept paying minimum viable wages. The system worked exactly as designed. But here's what they didn't calculate. Eventually you notice. Eventually someone points it out, and once you see it, it changes how you think about that buy now button. You know what Amazon drivers don't talk about? The mental toll. It's not just physical. Yeah, your knees hurt, your back hurts, you're exhausted. That's real. But there's something else. You spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day surrounded by evidence of an economy that you can't access. You're literally holding it in your hands, walking it to doors, watching people open things they bought without thinking while you're thinking about every single dollar. There's a psychological term for this. It's called relative deprivation. It's not about being poor in absolute terms. It's about being constantly reminded of what you don't have while being in close proximity to people who do. Amazon drivers experience this more than almost any other job because you're not in a warehouse. You're not isolated from the economy. You're in it. You're seeing nice neighborhoods, nice cars, nice houses. You're delivering nice things to nice people, and you're happy for them, really. But you're also aware, constantly aware, that you can't participate. You deliver a PlayStation to a house. The kid's going to be so excited. You're happy for the kid, but your kid wanted a PlayStation for Christmas. You couldn't do it. You got them something else, something good, but not what they wanted. And you feel guilty about that even though you shouldn't because you're doing your best. You deliver workout equipment to someone's home gym. You've been meaning to get back in shape, but a gym membership is $40 a month and you can't justify it. You deliver groceries from Whole Foods to someone's door. Organic, expensive. You shop at the discount grocery store and you feel smart about it. You're being financially responsible. But there's still that tiny voice that says, wouldn't it be nice not to have to calculate every purchase? This wears on you, day after day. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a way that makes you break down, just a slow, constant awareness that you're serving an economy that doesn't serve you back. And nobody talks about this part, because it sounds like complaining. It sounds like you're bitter. You're not bitter, you're just tired. Tired of delivering other people's good life while barely hanging on to your own. So how did this happen? How did we build an economy where the workers can't afford to be consumers? It's not an accident. It's a feature. Here's the model. You maximize efficiency, you cut labor costs as low as possible, you automate what you can automate, you pay minimum viable wage. You call workers contractors so you don't have to provide benefits. You optimize delivery routes to squeeze more packages per hour. You track every metric, every second of bathroom break time, every moment of idle time. The goal is to extract maximum value from labor while paying minimum cost. This is not unique to Amazon. This is how modern capitalism works. Amazon just does it better than most. And here's the genius of it. They made it convenient for you. Prime shipping, next day delivery, sometimes same day. You love it. I love it. We all love it. It's incredible. But that convenience has a cost. Someone pays it. It's not you. You pay $10 a month for Prime or whatever it costs now. Incredible value. Someone else pays the real cost. The driver pays it. With their time, with their bodies, with their inability to participate in the economy. And we don't see it because the system is designed to make it invisible. The driver shows up, the driver leaves, transaction complete. You never think about their rent, their car payment, their kids' medical bills, their student loans, their complete lack of financial buffer. It's out of sight, therefore out of mind. But here's what's happening right now. The model is breaking. Not because people suddenly developed a conscience, because you can't run an economy where the workers can't afford to be consumers. Eventually the math doesn't work. If Amazon drivers can't afford to buy from Amazon, who's buying? People making 50, 60, 70,000, okay? But those people are getting squeezed too. Housing costs are up. Inflation is eating wages. Student loans are crushing people. Credit card debt is at record highs. Everyone below the top 20% is getting stretched thin. And the economy requires consumer spending. If people can't spend, the economy contracts. If the economy contracts, companies make less money. If companies make less money, they cut costs. And the first cost they cut is labor. It's a doom loop, and we're in it right now. We just haven't named it yet. So what do you do with this information? I'm not going to tell you to stop ordering from Amazon. That's not realistic. The system is built. You need things. Amazon delivers them. Opting out individually doesn't change the structure. But I am going to tell you to see it clearly. The next time that blue van pulls up, the next time someone hands you a package, look at them. Not with pity, not with guilt, just see them. See the person who's doing the work that makes your convenience possible. And understand that the reason you can click buy now without thinking twice is because someone else is doing all the thinking for you. They're thinking about gas money, about rent, about whether they can afford to take a sick day, about whether their car will make it another month, about whether their kid notices that all their friends have things they don't have. That's the trade. Your convenience for their financial precarity. You're not the villain in this story. Neither are they. The villain is a system that requires someone to be exploited for it to function. And that system doesn't change because individuals feel bad. It changes when enough people see it clearly and decide it's unacceptable. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to show you what is. The rest is up to you, but I'll leave you with this. If the person delivering the economy can't afford to participate in it, something is fundamentally broken. And broken things don't fix themselves. They break further until someone decides to fix them. Maybe that someone is you. Maybe it starts with just seeing it clearly. Thanks for watching. If this changed how you see things, follow for more. Because once you start seeing the system, you can't stop. And that's when things get interesting.